Duly.
Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
I'm Justin.
And I'm not a demon.
Neither am I.
David is, though.
Questionable. There are a couple things that could lead you to demon, but...
Maybe I'm the non-demon. I'm not wearing glasses. I'm the demon.
Okay, so
Nice.
we're talking about the episode A New Man.
Because he's a new man, but not really.
This episode originally aired January 25th, 2000. The second episode of the Millennium.
We're not doing this again. Move on.
I am going to do this for a while until it gets annoying. And then I'm going to keep doing it until I no longer find enjoyment in it.
I'll just keep glaring.
We will suck the enjoyment out of the joke.
You will not suck the enjoyment out of the Millennium.
I thought that was a reference to Willow.
Anyways, along with the episode...
You thought it was a reference to what?
Willow.
No. Well, okay, sure. Yeah, that's what it is.
Because we're talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes. Okay. Riley and Buffy are making out in her bed, but before it gets too serious, Willow barges into the room and tells them of a demon attack.
Oh boy.
That's a mood killer. Armed with weapons, they go to the library, only to find out it's a surprise party. A surprise party for Buffy's birthday. Hey, she turned 19!
Yay! Additionally, that is terrible. What the flip were you thinking?
At the party, Giles feels out of place, especially when Buffy introduces Riley as her new boyfriend. And he starts asking about Giles what he does now that he's out of job since the school burned down. Buffy gushes about Professor Walsh and says she's the smartest person she's ever met, and that she wasn't invited to the party because she's got better things to do than hang out with a bunch of kids.
And here I'm thinking, then why did you invite Giles?
Because Giles has nothing better to do.
Hey look, open wound. Let's rub all the salt in it.
Now able to hunt and kill demons, Spike packs his things as he moves out of Xander's basement. Professor Walsh is informed that Buffy is the Slayer, and apparently she kind of knows what that means.
Apparently there's someone that knows what a Slayer is.
Apparently there's someone competent here. After revealing Riley's 17 captures and kills, he inquires about how many hostiles Buffy's killed. Buffy keeps quiet to avoid bragging. Giles discovers a powerful demon, Barvane, I'm gonna say, is about to rise and calls Buffy. But Willow informs him that she is with Professor Walsh. Buffy gives Riley some details about her history of slaying, and he's incredibly intimidated but impressed. Giles goes to talk to Maggie Walsh about Buffy, but is offended when she says that the lack of a father figure in Buffy's life is a problem.
More salt.
Salt wound. Hello. Willow and Xander go with Giles to the cemetery to find the demon. They are very late and fail to find Barvane. Instead, they find the area incredibly clean, which Willow suggests is the work of the Initiative. She and Xander go on about how thorough the operation is, only to discover that Giles never knew about the Initiative, or that Riley and Professor Walsh are behind it. Well, not really behind it, but in it.
A part of it. Nobody bothered to update Giles.
Again, feeling incredibly left out of the loop and unwanted, Giles sends Willow and Xander away, offering to stay in case anything happens, but after a few seconds realizes it's utterly pointless and dejectedly leaves. Ethan Rayne walks out of the shadows.
And monologues to himself. Out loud.
But everybody is happy because Ethan's back.
And yeah, of course, Giles heard him, so...
Speaking of interesting things to come, only to be caught by Giles re-entering the mausoleum. Because that's what Ethan does. Giles prepares to beat Ethan, sparing him only after Ethan's hastily uttered promise of information. Going out for a drink, Ethan tells Giles that the underworld is being threatened by the Initiative, especially something called 314. Dun dun dun.
I guess that's the information we get out of Ethan.
Whatever the Initiative is doing, it's throwing everything out of balance, and the underworld fears it. Buffy and Riley spar together. I scrolled too far. both holding back at first until they decide not to, even though Buffy still holds back a little. Yeah. Buffy kicks Riley hard enough to send him flying across the room.
Shatter his ribs or something.
He should be dead.
Yeah.
Well, she was holding back, but still.
That amount of force would have shattered his ribs and probably punctured his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead. So everybody have a moment of silence for Riley.
He's still alive.
That's enough time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Giles and Ethan get very, very drunk, with Giles opening up about how he feels and his annoyance that the Initiative have demons running scared when he's been fighting evil for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Ethan flirts and gives his number to their waitress. Willow and her new friend Tara meet to practice magic, and a simple magical exercise to float a rose goes awry, causing the rose to fly wildly around the room like a rose-guided missile, which is a great line.
Mm.
At least all the petals disappeared.
When he wakes up the next morning, Giles discovers that he's been transformed into a horned demon with incredible strength.
Oh dear.
Well, that happens usually after a night of drinking.
Yeah, and he tried to call somebody and shattered the phone in his hand because he's too strong.
Let's just be thankful that he didn't end up as a caveman from that bender.
First trying to make a call, he breaks the telephone receiver, then breaks the door off its hinges as he tries to leave the house. At breakfast, Willow lies to Buffy about where she was, saying that she was practicing magic alone. She does mention that some magical force interfered with the spell that she has attempted to cast. When Willow tells Buffy how left out of the loopy Giles has been feeling, Buffy realizes that she never told Giles about Riley and the Initiative. Giles goes to Xander's basement and tries to get him to help. But when Xander wakes up, he doesn't recognize and cannot understand Giles, who is speaking in a demonic language. Xander starts to throw pots and pans at him. Because...
rightfully so.
Of course.
The Xander defense method. Throw all the things.
And Giles runs away. The gang finds Giles' place destroyed, and they are worried about that the same demon that was at Xander's place is responsible for hurting or even killing Giles. Finding Giles' ripped clothing on the floor, Anya says, "I think he ate him." Walking through the cemetery, Giles runs into Spike. Spike recognizes Giles and identifies him as a Feral, I think that's how you pronounce it, demon, because he speaks the language. Spike agrees to help find Ethan and fix things for a price.
I can pay you.
Riley shows up at Giles' apartment, where everyone is researching the demon. After finding the demon in Giles' books, they determine it can only be killed with a silver object. Spike tries to figure out how to drive Giles' car while telling Giles of his experiences with Feral demons. Upon spotting Professor Walsh, Giles makes Spike stop the car so that he can chase her down the street and where was it? Giles makes Spike stop the car so that he can chase her down the street in return for her comments in the last conversation. Spike gets information out of the waitress that Ethan flirted with and finds out where he lives. Breaking into the magic shop, Buffy finds a receipt for materials purchased by Ethan Rain. While trying to escape the commando vehicles chasing after them, Demon Giles jumps out of the car while the commandos continue their pursuit of Spike. Spike later crashes the car while trying to get away, because Spike is a good driver.
I guess Giles needs a new car now.
He does. He needs a new Giles mobile.
Yeah.
Demon Giles charges into Ethan's hotel room and attacks him. Buffy and Riley arrive on the scene, and while Riley takes care of Ethan, Buffy fights with Demon Giles. With a letter opener she took from Giles' place, Buffy stabs the demon. But when she looks into its eyes and realizes that the demon is Giles, fortunately, the letter opener turned out to not be made of pure silver. Giles is turned back into a human with a spell, and Riley arrests Ethan. While Giles goes to watch Ethan get put away, Buffy and Riley talk about their abilities again. Buffy later apologizes for not telling Giles about Riley and the Initiative, but Giles is worried about her safety and whom she trusts. Professor Walsh is upset that Riley disobeyed her orders for Buffy, but says she thinks Buffy will work out. Passing through security doors, Walsh enters a room labeled 314.
Oh my goodness!
No, not the pie door.
Yes, that's
no.
the secret, Justin. There's a giant evil pie in there. It's like, it eats demons, and that's what its filling is.
It's fillings of 314.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the rest of pie.
Good, because that would make me hurt you.
I know.
Very good. So what did y'all think of this episode? It was a good time, I thought.
Yeah, it was alright.
Giles
Indeed.
became a demon.
Which I'm not too bad about, but still, it's kind of a case of decent idea, but it's kind of a simple case of, oh hey, it's a demon, booga wooga wooga. It's just,
I know, but it's Giles.
not true. But
It's
still.
just fun to see Giles just kind of play with the idea of being a demon a few times.
Yeah.
But sadly, they never bothered to use the mucus.
No, probably a good thing. I mean,
Right
I was thinking they would have at some point. They keep mentioning it a couple times in the episode.
Yeah, well, I mean, that might have been something that was just cut because of time.
Nah.
Or if they use this idea again.
It's
for
possible.
This type of demon.
Who knows?
I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
So, for music in this episode, we have a song by the band 12 Volt Sax, which, again, 10 on 10 name. Their song is called Over Divine. There's a song from the band Other Star People, Then There's None, and Scott Ellison, Down Down Baby, and, of course, Christoph Beck providing original score. For international titles, there's some good ones here. In French, 314.
Yeah.
Because that hints at something that's important to the larger plot, so fair enough.
Yeah, it works.
In Brazilian Portuguese, it's just a new man. And in Latin American and Spain Spanish, it's just a new man. However, in German, metamorphosis.
Yeah, it works.
Pretty good. Pretty good. So the quote I pulled for this episode is from Ethan Rayne, because of course it is. I've got to learn to just do the damage and leave town. It's the staying gloat that gets me every time.
There's someone in here.
Ethan is fantastic, and I wish we got more of him.
Hey, you are the Slayer and you can't kill a human. What exactly are you going to do? Sir, we're going to arrest you.
Shit. He's so good.
Well, we'll see him again sometime. I don't know when.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe next season or so.
In a couple of years, however long the justice system sort of works within Buffy's world. That isn't a wizard, though, so...
It's hard to really make that sort of thing.
Yep. Who knows when we'll see Ethan again? Because I'm not telling.
Meh.
Of course you're not.
So, what do you think is behind door 314?
Miss Walsh. She went behind there. Sorry.
You're not allowed to talk for the next minute, because that was terrible.
Fine.
I think some weird conglomerate of the demon monster, maybe. It's either that or some sort of crazy experiment with trying to infuse a human with demon thingies.
Oh, it's an experiment.
I'm gonna say drugs.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah, drugs for demons.
Everybody's just having a really good time. They're all just high as fuck.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of what they do there, more or less. I mean, look what happened to Spike. He's like a poor puppy, but at least he can fight demons.
And he's very happy that he gets
Poor
to fight
neutered,
demons.
Puppy.
Yes. So, all I'm going to tell you is that A, it's an experiment, and B, its name is Adam. Because subtlety is not your friend.
Oh boy.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's kind of sounding like the same song and dance. Oh, hey, military organization tried to create a weapon to supposedly use for things that, oh no,
Its
it
name
goes
is Adam.
awry.
Its name is Adam.
This makes me think of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Great. Anyway.
You know how I feel about anime.
I know,
Why
but
do you keep bringing it up?
because this was a big influential anime. That's why I look at that, and it was basically the plot of an apocalypse as well.
Yeah, but we're talking about something good.
No, well, then again, I don't
Let's
really
not
see...
get into the subjective and objective discussions of particular things.
I just love pissing off anime fans. It's just so much fun.
The thing is, I don't care if someone calls Evangelion all that, great or bad. I just don't care about it, actually.
Justin, I know you don't, but there's a lot of fucking people on the internet who do.
I know.
And it's funny for me.
He's got to get his pick somehow, and it's better than the other option.
There's just a specific one that I kind of don't like all that much, but I know it's influential.
Yeah.
Okay, well, me and anime aren't really friends, so whatever.
Yeah, I know. Like how I am not friends with wrestling.
Yeah, well, you're the one missing out. Anyway, do either of you have anything to add?
Not really, because I'll probably save that for another time.
Okay.
Nice to see Ethan again. And it's gone.
Do either of you have any questions for me about where we're going to be going? Keeping in mind, there are certain things I'm not going to tell you, if it's too spoilery.
I think it's kind of putting into the question of Mrs. Walsh's character, where she has sort of this intelligence to go with this sort of thing, but then it comes up to the point of, why is it that you're making this experiment for the thing? Don't you even understand with everything that you specifically work with how wrong this could supposedly go?
Okay. Is there a question in there?
I think it's just wanting
is
to
there going
share
to be a
thoughts.
particular point of Welsh's character kind of flying or doing a 360 in the opposite direction for something, or is she gonna supposedly stay with how she kind of is despite the supposed stupidness of what's happening?
She is going to go down the path you would expect her to.
Oh boy.
Justin, you have anything?
Well, I'm gonna say the initiative's probably still the main, antagonist here. Kind of. I mean, it's not like they're wanting to... It's not like they want to, but... I don't know.
So, I wouldn't say the initiative is the big bad. I would say Adam is the big bad.
Well, it's kind of a case of they're affecting a specific thing that naturally sort of works, and it's causing an influx of things.
Yeah,
and
okay.
if it's pushing one side of things, the other side is going to most likely come back with a vengeance.
You know what? Fair enough. If I'm thinking back to Evangelion, then yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so that will be it for this week. Oh shit, I didn't have the thing ready.
Oh no.
Did we record the things?
I just didn't have my thing
You wanted
ready.
to tell us about the next episode?
So, the next episode we'll be talking about is called The Iron Team.
Wait a minute, there's no Iron Team!
Well,
But there is a me if you jumble the letters up and take a few out.
There's a me and
You're
team.
not wrong.
So, when Professor Walsh decides that Buffy is a threat to the initiative...
Well, that didn't take long.
No, it didn't.
This escalated fast.
Oh, I'm not done yet. She decides to kill her by sending her on a dangerous mission. Riley discovers that Professor Walsh has tried to kill Buffy and begins to seriously think of leaving the organization.
Oh my gosh. What is he going to do now that he's supposedly leaving the initiative with the thing?
No, he's thinking about it seriously.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's going to be a good time. So, until next time, I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
I am Justin.